This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spiffed Er. The Spiffed Er is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spiffed Er, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you through life's transitions. And each week on this show, I bring on the coolest, most amazing, awesome experts, CEOs, entrepreneurs, authors, and truly life changers who've gone through their own reinventions in life, and they come on this show to share their stories of reinvention with us. And today I am super excited to have this dynamic woman on the show, Christina Daves. I was introduced. Hey, Christina, how are you?
Hello. Excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on the show, and the audience is going to absolutely love this topic. So before I get into Christina's story and give her the floor, what I want to do is share with the audience what we do every week is we have a theme for this show. And so our theme this week is how to get your message to the masses. So you all have stories, you have products, you have services, you have ideas, you have influence over other people. And I know from my own personal background that, and with the clients that I work with, that there is a quote unquote struggle in getting your message out to the masses. Well, Christina is an expert at this, and she runs a company called PR for Anyone, and she's going to share her story of where she was and how she turned everything around through her own product invention, which as a fellow inventor I love, and how she was able to do it, and it catapulted and morphed into this company that she's running today. And she's done thousands of interviews, had millions of impressions with her, for herself and for her clients. Really, really powerful story. So that is the theme of the show. And our intention is this. I have today to share my gifts with the world. So if you're writing that down, write it down. I have today to share my gifts with the world. Okay, and let that anchor in for this week. So on that note, Christina, let me read your bio before we get into your story. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Christina. Christina Daves, DIY-PR Strategist and founder of PR for Anyone, is the best-selling author of PR for Anyone, 100 plus affordable ways to easily create buzz for your business. And she shares her journey of getting exposure for her product that she invented at www.healinstyle.com. We are going to talk a lot about this product. I love inventions, and I love this product, and I can't wait for the audience to hear your story of how this all came to be. It's fantastic. So having no resources for advertising or to be able to hire a PR firm, Christina taught herself everything she could about generating her own publicity. She has appeared in over 1,000 local and national media outlets. Amazing, amazing. Last year alone, Christina, together with her clients, reached over 873 million views and generated over 8 figures in sales from free publicity. Free. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, Christina. Hi. Welcome. This is so great because we've done a little bit of PR before, but not to this level and this magnitude. And I know as a professional myself how important this is. And I worked in advertising and TV sales, so I know the power of media and publicity, but to be able to do it for free is so powerful. So can you share your story with us? Like, what happened for you? How did this all transpire?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. I had actually owned a retail store, and was burned out. For those of you who have a brick and mortar, I get it. I feel you. I know I didn't have another Christmas season left in me. It was a great boutique, but I was like, I'm just tired. I'm done. So I sold my business. I was 45 years old. My kids were still young. I was like, oh, I'm going to retire. Well, as an entrepreneur, we never retire, right? If something comes up. But I had taken like a year off volunteering at the kids' schools. I was like, I've got to come up with something. And then a freak accident was my something. We were in Canada and I broke my foot and I ended up in, the big, ugly black medical boot. And we came back and I went to the doctor and the doctor put me in the boot and we were going to New York the next day, fashion capital of the world. And I'm looking at the boot like, this is not going to happen. In New York, there's going to be something to make this medical boot fashionable, right? So I'm on the train, medical boot fashions, medical boot accessories, and there was nothing. So I always joke, I think my husband saw the light bulbs go off in my head because when you're married to an entrepreneur, he just knows when the idea pops up. And I started researching, how do you do, and I can't sew. So I had to find someone who could sew. But I came up with this concept of a fashion line for medical boots. And I did the business plan. I did the focus groups and everybody loved it. They're like, oh, this is so great. Well, so I did the product and I manufactured overseas and I got way too much, which is, you talk about bouncing back, I had 50,000 pieces of inventory. But I didn't know any different. I hired somebody that I thought I should trust, which wasn't a good idea. But so I have all this stuff. I have a warehouse full of products. But what I didn't realize is nobody knew about it. Nobody knew they needed to decorate their medical boots. It didn't exist before. This is brand new to the marketplace. So I had to educate the market. Well, I was broke. We'd mortgaged the house. We'd maxed out credit cards. How many of you guys know this story?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's what we do. You believe in your stuff. And so I was not going to be the one to come home and tell my kids why mommy and daddy lost the house. It was because mommy made a bad decision. So I went to the library. I really did. And I researched how to get free publicity because it was free. And I just started pitching and it didn't work and I kept tweaking and after about 5 months it started working and it's a lot. And I got on the Steve Harvey show and I got on Fox and was like, wow, this is good stuff, like this really works. So I kept doing it, and the more I was in the media, the more product I sold. Well then, and I'm sure this, people start asking you, well, how are you doing this? Can I take you to breakfast? Can I take you to lunch? Yeah, it's like I didn't have any more pick my brain sessions left. So I started a whole nother company. I started PR for Anyone out of a need that entrepreneurs wanted to learn how to do this. And I had figured out a system that worked.
Yes. There's so much in that story that I love. I love you being so honest and candid about the fact, you over-ordered inventory, you mortgaged the house. This is what I say all the time. And you're just affirming all of this. We don't know what we don't know. We just try. And I feel like that's our college education. You get in there and you do. And what I love about what you did is you became so resourceful for yourself. Like you were determined to make this work. You were going to figure out a way to make this work. And it morphed into this amazing other business of yours. So,
which has truly become my passion. I thought, everyone says, it's so cool you invented a product. It's like, no, what's really cool is when I get my clients on TV. Like that's really cool. Like I love that. Or I get the email that says, Christina, I did exactly what you said to do. I just got this last week. You're the best PR coach. I just got in the Washington Post. Like, yes, that's the stuff that, because I know what it means. I know what it'll do for a business. And I just get really excited about that.
Well, I love that. All right. Well, you shared some of the challenge. What really was the biggest challenge for you besides the fact that nobody knew about it? How is it really affecting you? What was that moment that happened for you that made you go, I got to do something?
I will tell you, I was 5 months in. I had been pitching the media, which was my answer. This was going to fix everything, but nothing was working. I mean, nothing. I was pitching and pitching and pitching, and nobody cared. And I remember this so vividly. It was a Wednesday night, and I just started crying. I was like, what else can I do? I've got 1 month left of payments that I can make on my credit cards. There's no money. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. Give me an answer somehow. And I went to bed that night, and I woke up the next morning, and there was an email from the Steve Harvey Show in my inbox. I can't make this up. This is totally a true story. And I had to go through the whole process. I had to do a video. And for the moms out there, I've got to get my kids off to school, and they need the video by 10 a.m.
Right.
Like, what is the shower and the makeup? And so I had applied to Shark Tank and didn't get on, but I took that video and edited it real quick. And I'm not an editor, but I was like, there's got to be something in here I can send in. And that led to my day of interviews. And when I went on the Steve Harvey Show, it was a competition. I won $20,000. So I won his top inventors competition. And when you are dead broke and you don't know where the next payment's coming from, and they're handing you a check for $20,000, it's like, yeah. But that was the hard, figuring out what to do when you're new, I think is the hardest thing. It's like you said, we don't know what we don't know. If I could go now back to 2010, oh my goodness. You have to learn. You have to fail. I truly don't believe you can be a major success if you haven't had failure.
100%. 100% agree.
I think you need that, and you need to evolve and grow, and don't take the failure as rock bottom and you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Because you can get out of it. It's and I've been in a heap sobbing before, so we've all been there. But just know that you got to believe you had a passion for what you did. There's a reason you did this, and take what you learned from what didn't work and build on that, and take that challenge, that breakdown as the next step to success.
Yes. I've had those moments as well. Those ugly moments on the floor crying, like haven't showered, like, oh my God. And I worked with a coach, and it's you can't have that breakthrough, honestly, I believe, unless you have that breakdown. Because that's why I wanted you to share that. That's so critical, because I know I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I know there are a lot of people out there. You work with them too. What was the book? In Think and Grow Rich, and in Greg Reed's book, 3 Feet from Gold, so many people quit so close to just that that breakthrough point. And knowing what you're sharing so honestly and candidly is letting people know, oh my God, when I have those moments, I'm not alone. No. Entrepreneurs go through this, and I'm so close to the breakthrough. So please take that to heart. Remember that when you're in those moments. And here's the other thing. You will have varying levels of that throughout your career, because as your business is growing, you're going to hit a new devil at a new level, right? And there's it's like the stock market. It goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, right? So thank you for being so honest and sharing that. So I know you're going to share a gift with our audience, but before you do, because one of the things that you do is a 3 steps to PR success giveaway. Can you talk about those steps? Because we're all about 3-step processes here, so I love it.
I didn't even know that. Well, that's perfect. Yeah. So I figured out a system that works, and it's basically a 3-step process. It's, this doesn't matter if you're a productpreneur, if you're a service, if you're an expert, an author, a speaker. It works for anybody, because you've got to go into your industry then. But the 3 steps are being newsworthy, creating great hooks, which is the subject line that the journalist has to read before they even read your newsworthy story idea, and then finding the right journalist. Depending on your category, you had a food product. Well, you wouldn't want to send that product to the person who reviews books.
Right.
Because That's not their thing. And where I thought, oh, they'll just give it to the right person. That doesn't happen. They're busy. Everybody's busy. So I teach this 3-step process. So yeah, the giveaway basically gives you a little bit of a deeper dive into that. And you can use that system. You can start today. Every single person who's on this or on the show who's watching can get media exposure. Yeah. And I just got off the call with a potential client who's B2B versus B2C. It works. It's just different. You're just going to a different place. But putting those in place, you can get massive visibility.
Yes. Yes. Well, I love it. And that you made it so simple. And it's true. And the thing that people don't realize is it is crowded. They are busy. These reporters, these producers, these journalists, but they are seeking stories. They are seeking you too. So, but you got to be the
guarantee to all of you that if you called a newsroom looking to see who you pitch a story to, who that right journalist is, there's not a newsroom in the country that's going to say, I'm sorry, we're not taking new stories today.
Right.
It's never going to happen, ever.
Yeah.
So as long as the media is around, they need stories. So they need good stories. So you've got to think outside of the box. You got to think beyond the box and give them something good. And I'll give you the best tip. Do your homework. Who's the end user? Who's the end reader? Who's the end viewer? And target your story to their audience. Make sure you've done your homework. I have a regular segment on Good Morning Washington. If I had pitched that idea to my NBC station, they would have been like, what are you talking about? We don't have that format here. It doesn't work. So don't just throw spaghetti on the wall. Do your homework. That's where you get the best results.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. So true. So powerful. Right. Okay. So is there, one of the questions I ask all my guests is, how do you live the I have today way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't know if you have tomorrow. And I really think that's where mindfulness comes in, is being in the moment that you're in. The other day, a perfect example, my daughter is 19 and she and her best friend just came back from Europe. And being an entrepreneur, the cool thing is I could shut down my laptop and just sit on the porch and talk to them. And had a great conversation. And then, I had a call at 2:00. I'm like, all right, girls, give me 10, 15 minutes. Let me hop on my work call. Did my call, got off. We continued our conversation. But you have to enjoy life. You have to enjoy what you're doing. My kids tease me about it all the time. Like, Mom, you really like what you do. I'm like, I love what I do, but I love what I do because I can set what I do.
Yes.
Which is nice. So take the time to enjoy today.
Yes. Beautifully said. And I love that you do that. And you're doing what you love and you love what you do. And it's evident. I can just see it, feel it from you, which is amazing. All right. Well, I just had another question that popped in my mind, and I'm sure the viewers and the listeners care about this too. Is there one media or one platform, like is the strategy to go after one or several? So if I'm new and I'm in San Diego and I just wrote a book or I just invented a kitchen product, I'm just going to use myself as an example.
There you go.
What would I do? Like, should I go to every TV station in the market, or should I go to all the radio stations? Like, this is what people want to know because they get overwhelmed. There's hundreds and thousands of TV and radio stations and publications as well. So this is where it's important to know where your audience is. Where are your customers? Mm-hmm. That's where you want to start. Do an avatar exercise. I speak and train a lot. A lot of people have no idea who their ideal customer is. You really need that because all media platforms have a demographic. Who's watching, who's reading, and it's not that hard to find. So you're going to target your story to the right demographic. Mm-hmm. But going back to your question,
first of all, getting local media is the easiest.
Right.
They love a local author. They love a local inventor. You should be able to get in every local paper, which is great.
Yeah.
Because that way, people are getting to know about you. If you're a brick and mortar, that's your target market. If you're a real estate agent, that's those people reading the local Times, the local Gazette. Like that's where you want to be. When it comes to pitching television, I usually do one at a time. I wouldn't send the exact same pitch to all 4 media outlets right away. Now, if you're sending out a blast press release, which I'm not a huge fan of, but if you were to do that and you said, see the press release below, they would have an indication that you've blasted it out. But always personalize. Always find that right person. But there's going to be one station that's ideal for you. Like right. For you, there's going to be one station that does a lot of cooking segments, right? For your product. And maybe you bring in, these are all great for making desserts. And I was just thinking, because I have 3 other products that I have on a list, plus yours. I'm like, oh, that's going to be one of my upcoming ones. All the things you need to make the perfect dessert, all the gadgets.
Great.
But there's going to be one that's ideal for your audience. Yeah. I talked about my NBC station. If I was a doctor, I would pitch that, because on the noon news, they're always doing segments where they bring in expert doctors to talk about, different things. Mm-hmm. So that's where the homework comes in. But I would pitch the TV stations, your ideal one first. You pitch, you follow up with a phone call, and then you follow up with an email. If they don't respond, then you go to the next one. And if that one said yes and the other one comes back, you can say, oh, well, always be open and candid that you're on another station too. Yes. A lot of times they want an exclusive, but that's how I do it. Mm-hmm. Just to be fair to that program. And you might want to, like, I'm a regular on my ABC station. I don't even pitch the other stations anymore.
Right.
I don't really need to.
Right. That, of course.
I hope that answered it.
No, you did. You answered that beautifully. So is there one final tip or piece of advice related to either PR or entrepreneurship, you as a woman, as a professional, doing, as a mom, a working mom, and, that you want to share with the audience? Because this is all about, intentional living and living to your highest, greatest, fullest potential, which you did. Before you answer that, I got to interject with this thing, because what happened to you, the fall was no accident. It's like the universe's way of having you rise to your, highest, greatest, fullest potential. And look at how it's evolved. And I love that. And you said that if I could go back to 2010, well, right, you can connect the dots going back. You can't connect them forward. But hasn't there been a gift and a blessing in every year and smile? Right. And right. So anyway.
And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have written a book if it wasn't for my horrible experience with somebody that I had hired that took a lot of my money, but that made me broke. So I didn't have money for advertising. It all works in. It's like you said, it's how the universe had to work to get me where I am today. Yeah. And I love working with people, and people like to work with me because they know that I'm a truly sincere, honest person. And I'm going to do everything I can to make them be successful. So I always say my client's success is my success, but I don't want anyone to be taken like I was taken. So I go over the top with that. But my best advice, and I tell my kids the same thing, but just ask. Don't be afraid to ask a mentor, a coach, like somebody who's been around longer. That has done so much for me. And what's the worst anyone's going to say?
Right. Right.
It's that bad. It's not that. Then you just move on. But most people, there's actually a study, you guys can Google it, that Stanford University did. More people are afraid of what people will think of them if they say no when they're asked something, that most people will say yes.
Yes.
So
that's there. Hey, that is a today tidbit. That is such a good takeaway. That's so true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to ask for help. to ask for advice.
Yes.
And, what you can learn from people who've been where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, everyone is a third grader. You can get help from an eighth grader. You can have that mentor, and then it's up to you to be a mentee to the people who are coming behind you.
Yes.
So pay it forward.
Definitely. I love it. Well, okay. So tell the audience how they can find out more about you and your free gift.
Yeah. So Christina Daves, just throw that into Google. ChristinaDaves.com is my website. It'll take you everywhere. And yes, 3 steps to prsuccess.com. And you can just opt into that. It'll put you on my list. Every Friday, you get a Get Famous Friday PR tip. It's a minute long. People really like them. It's just a little nugget to, help you get more visibility. And if you have any further questions, you can find me. Just reach out.
That's so great. Well, we're going to sign up for it. We love the tips. Absolutely. And we will have links to Christina and her gift in the comments section. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the comments section. If you're listening to this on iTunes or any of the audio podcast platforms, go to DianeForster.com to my podcast page where we have everything listed there. So you can find it there. So, thank you so much for being here, Christina. You are such a delight, and I'm so grateful to have you in my sphere and in my world, and you're doing amazing work, and I'm so grateful for that. And so let's end it with reminding you of what the theme and the intention statement was, which is how to get your message to the masses. So get your gifts out there. Don't be afraid. Just ask. The worst thing they could do is say no. So, and follow Christina's 3-step process. Download it to help make this happen for you easier and for free. And the intention statement is, I have today to share my gifts with the world. So that's it for this week's episode. I'm Diane Forster. I want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time at I Have Today. Take care. Bye-bye.